Jesus frigging Christ. I was not prepared for this one. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, the place where I talk everything horror, and boy do I have a horrifying movie to review today. Actually, let me rephrase that. Horrifying yet flippin' outstanding, incredible, amazing. This movie really caught me off guard and I was not expecting to be so affected by a movie like this. There isn't much that shocks me these days. I've been watching horror since I was in nappies, but this is one of those extremely rare horror movies that really delivers and keeps on delivering over and over and over again as the movie progresses, and some really gory things unfold on the screen in front of your eyes, and you start thinking to yourself, this must be as bad as this film is gonna get, and how wrong was I? So what is The Substance movie about? Well, The Substance takes us on a blood-soaked journey through the dark side of eternal youth, set against the backdrop of a hyper-obsessed entertainment industry. The film introduces us to Elizabeth Sparkle, played by the incredible Demi Moor. Yes, the one from Ghosts. Now, she is a former star who's fallen from grace, and Elizabeth's career takes a nosedive when a ruthless executive named Harvey, portrayed by Dennis Quaid, replaces her with someone younger. Heartbroken and desperate, Elizabeth stumbles upon a mystery product called The Substance. But here is the catch. The Substance promises a rejuvenated version of oneself, allowing Elizabeth to continue working in the youth-obsessed business. However, like any good horror story, it does come with some rules. She can activate her younger self only once, and they must pretty much switch off every 7 days. Sounds simple, right? Well, as you might expect, things quickly start spiraling out of control. Now, I am not going to give any major spoilers for this one. This is definitely a movie that you really need to go and see with minimum spoilers. Although, if I could describe to you some of the things that happen in this movie, it still wouldn't prepare you. The only thing I will say to give you some sort of insight of what this movie delivers. Picture this. Imagine Demi Moore's character injecting herself with a mysterious serum, collapsing, and then bam, a creature bursts from her spine. It's like a twisted rebirth, and that creature is none other by her younger self, played by Margaret Qualley, who is also incredible in the movie, and I believe that, that is the tamest part of the movie. So you've got Demi Moore, the older version, and she's called Elizabeth, and then you got Margaret Qualley playing the younger version, and she is called Sue. Now, Margaret Qualley's character, Sue, becomes the hottest star in Hollywood, but don't forget, guys, I did mention there is a catch. She and Elizabeth have to switch places every 7 days. But as Sue's career starts to skyrocket, she steals more and more time away from Elizabeth. It all kind of starts off with Sue wanting to spend an extra few hours before switching places, and then it's an extra day, then a couple of days, and then 3 months. And the things that happen to Elizabeth's body while she's waiting to be switched back is just unspeakably disturbing, gory, stomach-churning, and quite insane. Now, this movie has a runtime of around 2 hours and 20 minutes, but it's not one of those films where you start getting bored. Oh no, because things just keep happening. And there were a few moments in the movie where I thought, wow, oh my goodness, this is the finale scene, because it's just insane. This is how the movie ends. Like, something so disgusting and huge will happen, and it makes you think that this is the climax before the credits start rolling. But no. it keeps going and going, and all of a sudden we are then thrown into an even more gory scenario and a disturbing scene that unfolds, making the whole situation and the whole story even worse. There was even a moment to myself where I thought, I don't know if I can take any more of this. My heart was racing. I had my hand over my mouth. I had fingers like this. They just kept delivering, and the more the movie was continuing, the more crazy it was getting. You had no idea what was coming next because it's just totally unique. A proper unique horror film is totally unpredictable. You go on to this stomach-churning journey that just gets unbearable at certain points. The body horror is just insane, I think is the best word for it. Think of David Cronenberg's The Fly, and then also think of John Carpenter's The Thing. Then just adds them both together and times it by 10, and there we have The Substance. Honestly, I actually felt a little bit nauseous when the movie ended and the credits rolled, and it is rare for a horror movie, to do that to me. Now, beneath the gore and body horror, The Substance actually does have another message. Director Coralie Fargeet crafted this film as a commentary on society's obsession with youth and beauty. It's a mirror reflecting our own fears of aging and the lengths that we go to stay relevant, and it raises questions in your head of, what would you do in this situation? Would you do this? Would you take the substance in order to be the best version of yourself? I mean, I personally wouldn't now after watching this movie, but at the start of the film, when the substance first comes into play for the first time, and it looks very sexy and it's all very desirable, you think to yourself, yeah, I probably would, but it soon goes very, very south. Oh yeah, there is a hell of a lot of nudity in this movie. Don't watch it with your parents, for goodness sake. Demi Moor is incredible. I think this could be one of her best ever movies that I've seen her in, aside from maybe Ghost. Everything from her acting to the practical effects that she was in at certain points of the movie, and that's another thing that I loved, the lack of CGI. I mean, this film was definitely a lot more on the practical side effects, which makes it look more realistic. I mean, don't get me wrong, there might be a little bit of CGI here and there, very minor moments that may look a little bit fake for certain people, but honestly, the effects in this movie are just off the scale. I promised I wouldn't give any major spoilers, especially from the third act, which I won't, don't worry, but I just wanted to say that there is such a fantastic scene towards the end of the movie that almost had me in awe, almost cheering. I won't tell you what it is, but it involves a stage and a bloodbath, and that is all I will share with you. People who have already seen the movie will know what I'm talking about. It is so messed up, and I think this was the part of the movie where I thought, I don't know if I can take anymore, and then it just switches, and then it just turns wow, absolutely amazing. So, my fellow horror fans, The Substance isn't your typical horror flick, I'll be honest with you. It's a roller coaster ride through vanity, sacrifice, and the consequences of chasing eternal youth. If you're into the body horror genre of horror and Demi Moore's powerhouse acting and neon aesthetics, then you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. In fact, even if you don't like body horror, you're gonna love this one, and it's gonna disturb the fuck out of you, honestly, guys. But remember, there's no magic potion without a price. This might be the best horror film of 2024 that I've seen so far, so I am going to give this movie a very well-deserved 9 out of 10. Well, that is it for now, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments box below. Until next time, stay fabulous, stay spooky, and keep watching horror movies.